welcome back for the third and final part with Samuel Leeds. This is where we get a chance to ask our final questions with Samuel. So Samuel, first question for you. When did you reach millionaire status and did it change you?
I became a cash millionaire at 25 years old. Did it change me? Not really, because when you achieve a big goal like that, which for me at the time it was, the year before you were almost there. So you kind of like, you know you're close. It's not like you win the lottery and you suddenly, oh man, I'm a millionaire. It's like, okay, well firstly, I'm a property millionaire. I've got a portfolio which is worth $1 million, but I've got all my mortgages. Then my net worth is 600, 800, 900. And then by the time it actually comes, you're kind of like, yeah, well, I knew it was coming. So I don't really think it's like a massive groundbreaking, oh my gosh, thing to happen. But it was nice. It was nice when I sat down with my accountant and I was able to say, oh wow, I'm a millionaire now. It's a good title for a 25-year-old just to be able to, for the sense of achievement. But really, like even now, like I got my net worth valued at March 2020, which came in at £20 million.
Wow.
Which I was really, I was really happy about that. I was actually at a lot of my houses were down valued because it was March 2020 and because of COVID and stuff.
Yes.
But now, my life isn't going to change. If my net worth is 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, I pay myself a salary.
Yeah.
My life, I'm not going to change my car, change my house. I like my house, I like my car. It doesn't cost that much to live a really good life. And once you get to a certain point, you have to have a goal bigger, otherwise I think you'd just be empty. Now if I'm just obsessed with my net worth all the time, getting it valued every year, what's my net worth, how's it grown? It's kind of meaningless. So for me it's more about what impact I can make and the legacy that I can leave behind.
Yes. What does material items mean anything to you? So having like a Lamborghini outside or having an even bigger house, does these things matter to you?
I wouldn't say material things don't matter, of course they do. I wouldn't say I'm a particular materialistic person. I don't spend money to impress people ever. So my car, for instance, I drive a nice autobiography Range Rover. It's got a fridge in it, it massages me when I drive. I'm good. Like, I don't need anything more than that. I'm in a nice 6-bed mansion and I've got a private gate. I've got enough rooms for every kid and my living nanny to have a room. Like, I don't feel like, I don't dress fancy, I don't wear jewellery. So, of course, I'll take material things, it's fine, but I'm not like massively into materials now.
Yes. Who influenced you the most up to date?
It's hard to put really one person on it. I mean, my mom has been growing up with my mom.
Yes.
Massive influence on me who I am as a person, my character, which I think is more important than what you've got.
Definitely.
It's not about what you've got, it's about what's got you. And I think my mom, and also even in property, my mom backed me, believed in me, really helped me out. My mom's husband, Tim, he was a guarantor for me on my first house.
Okay.
And without that belief and family support, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So, a lot of love. Also Tony was my first mentor and he's still my mentor today. So from a business perspective, I'd say he's probably been the most influential person. And then of course, famous people that I might not even know, celebrities like Richard Branson has been a massive inspiration to me. And Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that completely reshaped the way that I thought. So there's a lot of people to credit, but it's difficult to pin it all on one person.
Okay, nice. So we've talked about a lot of good. What were some of the biggest things that were against you?
Against me? I think when you start out in business, your friends and your family will mostly tell you to be careful and they'll try and hold you back. Not because they don't want you to succeed, because they want to protect you. So I had a lot of that with my friends at school, like, what are you doing? You're being scammed, why are you going on these courses? Get rich quick. So I had a lot of that. But what happens is when you start to get a bit of success, they'll then become more like, well, we'll see what happens, we'll see. And then when you smash that millionaire status, then it's like, money isn't everything,
Yes.
And then you'll become a multi-millionaire and then it's like, you've changed. Yeah. So you can't keep everybody happy all the time. You've got to just do you. And most people that are your friends, they want you to win, but they just don't want you to win more than they're winning. So, if you're in an office job right now and you're trying to do a side hustle, maybe they'll support you, but as soon as they think, oh my gosh, you're going to leave, they want to keep you. So I've had a lot of that. I've also had a lot of media, journalists coming after me. Again, when you're making a lot of noise and people know who you are. In Britain, we don't like rich people. And, even in America, if you're in America driving a fancy car, everyone will clap you. Whereas in Britain, they'll be like, this guy?
Yeah.
You know, oh, did mommy and daddy pay for the car?
Yes, exactly.
All that nonsense.
How do you manage that?
Well, it's just one of those, isn't it? It's just like you gotta have thick skin to be successful in business. I've got 46 members of staff. I get hundreds of thousands of views on social media every month, and you've got to have a thick skin. You can't be upset every time somebody says something about you that's not kind. You just got to have a thick skin and get on with it and see it as motivation.
Definitely. You've got to have something in your mindset to block it out and say, this is where I'm going. If you don't like it, then don't come on my journey.
And no one's hating on you that's more successful anyway. So the people that are hating, you've got to have empathy for them, because one guy messaged me last month and he sent me a vitriolic message. He doesn't know me from Adam. Like, you're an effing cunt, nasty message on Instagram. And I thought, well, I'm having a just perfectly fine day. And I responded to him and I said to him, sorry, sorry if you're having a bad day. And he responded back and said, I am, terrible day. And it just made me think, when people are hating, it's usually because it really says more about them than it does about you.
Yes.
So I think having empathy for people. Listen, if someone's trying to ruin me, if someone's going after me again and again and again, I'm like, I will then sue them. I will crush them, no problem. But if someone's just sending me a hateful message once because they're in a bad day, you've got to have a bit of empathy, you've got to have a bit of love. And I've had it from my church misunderstood me as soon as I started getting successful. They were like, and you're a maverick, you're overzealous, you need more wisdom, kind of holding me back. And I have had that, but it's just so important to have a good circle around you. I think the biggest thing is having good people around you, having a strong circle of people that can support you through the good and through the bad. I've had mountaintops, I've had valleys, and that's just part of life. There's no such thing as a mountaintop without a valley.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, great answer. Sometimes when people hate themselves why they can't do it, when they see somebody else do it, they just want to portray as much hate as possible.
Samuel,
it's just a reflection.
He's just selling dreams. He's making things too simple. It's harder in the real world. You can't buy houses without any money. And I'm like, well, you can't.
Yes.
But I did. I had nothing. And
you've done it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's been your biggest loss? Financially or outside?
Well, COVID was hard. That hit really hard. Certainly on the training business, because our overheads continued, but we'd booked all these venues, £25,000 a month for an office and all these staff on the training business, and then suddenly overnight can't leave the house. That was challenging. Lost some good people, lost friends. Financially, probably the worst deal that I ever did, which I've never talked about ever actually. I was 17 and I bought a storage unit. So I basically got sold this deal. It was like a packaged investment. I wasn't even a lot of money. I think it was £6,000, and I said, you pay £6,000, you're going to get a guaranteed return of 12%. And after a year, it's expected to go up a lot. And you just own a storage unit. And I was thinking, well, there's no mortgage. I'm 17, so I got a credit card and scraped some money together and bought this storage unit. Because I thought, I can't get a mortgage anyway. I just thought, hey, I'm going broke investing in deals. It's all good. So I bought the storage unit. And I also recommended somebody else as well. There was a lady called Sheila, who's an old lady that I just got on with really well. And I was like, hey, she was saying I'm struggling to get a mortgage, I'm too old. And I was like, well, I've just invested in this storage unit, it's great. She then invested, and they paid us for the first year. That was part of the scam. It was a total scam. So what they do is they'll pay you 12% for the first year, but then you're left with this little shitty, worthless storage unit that you can't rent out, and it's totally nonsense. And then they've disappeared. Companies closed down. It's probably worth £1,000. They sold it you for £6,000. Gave you back the 12% just to show good work, to stop everybody going mad. So that happened. But what was worse than that is then I started getting hit with all the business rates, the council rates and everything. So this storage unit, I still own it today. It's been the worst thing I ever did. I've lost thousands on it. It was a total scam. I ended up, actually just the other week, I saw Sheila, the old lady, on Facebook, and she made some comment about how she's struggling financially, and I just thought, man, it was me that recommended that storage unit to her, which made me feel bad. I ended up ringing her. I just gave her £10,000 last week.
Wow.
Because I couldn't sleep, man. I was just thinking, the storage unit is so bad, and I even recommended it to Sheila. She's an old lady, so I just gave her £10,000.
Wow.
14 years later.
Wow.
Just because it suddenly was on my mind.
Wow.
But that was just horrible. So again, it goes down to being educated and doing due diligence properly. I was 17, I didn't know what I was doing. So I've lost money, I've fallen into scams, I've made money. I've had problems.
Yes.
But every business owner has. There's not a single person that says every single deal has always been good.
So how do you handle failure?
Failure is not opposite to success. Failure is a stepping stone to success. So rather than seeing it as, oh, I failed, no, you didn't. It was just a stepping stone towards your success. If I get told no, it's one closer to a yes. If I have a bad business deal that doesn't work out, fine. That was my trial opportunity before my real deal.
Yes.
I'll see. It's like, even when I was doing my driving lesson, I failed twice before I passed my driving thing. I got my license. But when I would book my exam or my test, you go out and you drive and the test mark you, and if you fail, then it's devastating. I didn't even see it as a test. I told myself, this isn't a test, this is a driving lesson. I'm just going for an expensive driving lesson. And if I fail, I didn't fail. I just did a drop. It was a lesson. So that's kind of been my mentality in business. Everything that I do is just a lesson. If I don't lose, I either learn or win.
You break down barriers is what I'm seeing. You break down that barrier. Why is this a massive step or a big test? It's what I just normally do, but today I'm just getting, you are getting just someone monitoring you, how well you're doing it. So yeah, brilliant. What keeps you motivated? Because you seem like a very motivated person. You said you've got a net value of around 20 million. What keeps you motivated? What's the end goal? Where do you want to get to? Because there's obviously some sort of apple that's there that you're trying to get towards.
Yeah, I want them to build a statue after me when I'm dead.
Yeah.
I want to help more people become financially independent across the planet than anyone's ever done before in human history.
That's quite big.
Well, the thing is, unless you have a goal that's bigger than... You can't be truly happy unless you're progressing. If a flower's not blossoming and not growing, then the flower is dying. So there's a moment you say, I've arrived.
Yeah.
Then suddenly everything's going to start falling,
Yes.
and you're going to start slipping into all kinds of depressions because you're not progressing, you're not growing. And for me, growing myself is one thing, but growing my team and helping people get to, like, my training company is the biggest property investment training company in the UK by far. And for me, being able to see other people win and help them, I get the same buzz when they get their first deal that I did when I got my first deal. Like, helping people get in their first deal and being like, yes, and get the keys. Like, for me, that gives me a buzz.
Okay. And how do you celebrate your wins?
Quickly. Celebrate every win quickly and then quickly move on. Because if you congratulate yourself too much and tap yourself on the back for too long, then you've missed the next deal. So celebrate your success. I think it was Cristiano Ronaldo that I saw do this. He won a game and he celebrated it and he was like, right, next. So don't celebrate too long. Celebrate your win. Have a nice dinner. Celebrate, but don't just sit in it and bask in the glory. Move on to the next thing.
Yes.
And discipline your disappointment as well. Celebrate your success, but also discipline your disappointment, because disappointments is part of the business. The amount of deals that have almost gone through, I say never be at ease until you've got the keys. Because the amount of deals that fall through at the last freaking minute.
Yes.
So don't celebrate too early and don't celebrate too long, but do celebrate.
Never
Never be at ease until you've got the keys.
Oh, I've got to use that one. And finally, Samuel, if you had to do it all over again, what would be the thing that you did differently?
Well, it's funny because in 2018, a lot of people were saying, oh, you got lucky when I was a millionaire. And I decided, just for a laugh, to start all over again.
Okay.
So I literally, as a social experiment, did exactly what you said. I locked myself away from my bank account. I got a new identity, a new name. I got a disguise. I got dumped into a random city and started again from scratch. And that was a 7-day process where I ended up becoming financially free, literally all again from scratch in 7 days. Documented the heck out of it, whacked it on YouTube. It's got 1.7 million views, made BBC News, inspired a lot of people. And I wouldn't do anything massively different because what I did kind of worked. But it's about just speeding it up and having the experience and the knowledge to know what works quick. Fast. Everything has to be fast. Yeah, everyone comes to me and says, I've got a 10-year plan. I'm not interested. I don't believe in 10-year goals. I believe in 10-week goals. Because if you set a 10-year goal, if you've got a 10-year goal, all you're going to do is human nature. It's like when I was a kid and I had my 6 weeks summer holiday and they give me some homework. When are you going to do the homework? You do it the last day. So if you've got a 10-year goal, it makes you too relaxed.
Yes.
If you've got a 10-week goal or a 10-day goal,
Yeah.
even if it's a small goal, smash it out the park in 10 weeks. Next.
Yes.
Not one big goal for 10 years.
Yes. I think the human mind is so powerful and we don't tap into it as much as we can do. And if you think of yourselves and say, look, I've got a 6-month goal, change that to 6 weeks, and I guarantee we'll do it in 6 weeks.
Exactly. Like Elon Musk says, if you give yourself 6 months to tidy your bedroom, it will take 6 months. And that's profound.
Yes. And finally, I just want to ask, what sort of courses do you provide? Just generally, what are there different courses that you provide, and how do you help people on their journey?
Yeah, so I run different courses. Most of my courses cost £1.
Okay.
So I basically want to give everybody the opportunity to experience my training programs. So I do them for £1 because there's no excuse if they're £1.
How's that financially viable?
It's not. It's a loss leader.
Right.
So I lose money on it. But then I know that when they come to that program, they're going to get so much value. They're going to be so successful. They're going to have their mind blown. I then have a mentorship program. So we have advanced courses on every different strategy. So on lease options, on HMOs, on deal sourcing. They cost $9.95 for the online version, and then $1,995 for the in-person versions.
For what period of time do they pay that?
So if it's an online course, they have lifetime access. The courses last about 4 weeks. It's a 4-week course, £995. When they finish it, they have lifetime access.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then I also have a 12-month mentorship, which is like for people that maybe done some of the courses, they want to go really fully in property. That's like a 12-month, hold your hand, work with you, unlimited mentoring, networking dinners, coaching, masterminds. That's kind of like my top end program.
Okay.
That's 12,000.
Okay.
And we interview people for that. It's not for everybody, but that's like the ultimate mountain experience for people that are like, I'm fully in. Because the thing is, and people say it's expensive, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, £12,000. It's like, listen, it's not for everybody. This is for people that are actually wanting to go full-time into property. But realistically, most of our students make that back on their very first deal. So it's not for everybody. It's expensive entertainment, but for the education and the support you get, you compare it to university, it's extremely good value, and that's something that I spend most of my time doing. You know, like mentoring, helping the academy members, the students. We've got about 300 academy members at the moment,
Right.
And it's a joy, man. It's an absolute blessing.
So if I spent £12,000 on one of your courses,
Well, you couldn't.
yeah, okay,
It's not a course. 12,000, that's the most expensive thing we have. That's unlimited mentoring for a year. So that's not a course. That's guidance, mentoring, coaching, dinners, coming to my house. Like that's a full 12-month experience. But sorry, go ahead.
And what sort of value am I expected to get from that? Because I don't mind spending money, but I want to know what I'm getting for it.
Yeah.
You know, and is it going to really, exactly what you said. Am I going to get that £12,000 back?
Yeah.
And what added benefit am I going to get with that sort of thing? So what, maybe a success story, or you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, every single week I have a show called Winners on a Wednesday. So for the last 4 years, I've been interviewing one of my students on that show and saying, what did you do? What happened?
Okay.
And they'll talk about how they've become financially free, they've left their jobs, they've made a load of money as a result of the mentoring and support. So yeah, I've been doing that every week for 4 years. So it absolutely works.
Brilliant. And how do people find that
So with
Wednesday?
the Academy, I mean, all of our courses and the price list are all on our website.
Okay. And what's the website?
property-investors.co.uk. But for the Academy, like, you can't just go on the website and like, it's an interview process, you know what I'm saying? Because it's quite intimate. So, but the pound courses are where it's at. Pound courses for everybody. Come and experience, come and see what all the strategies are about, how we do it. You'll see me on the phone live, calling agents, making deals happen. All of the courses are not just theory, we actually do it. So it's like on the phone, doing deals, making money. And it's not for everybody. Not everybody necessarily connects with me, but what I'll say is it works, you know, because we're actually doing it. I'm very much into not just teaching, but doing, because I was at school being bored. I won't just share something and say, here's how you do a deal. I'll say, here's how you do a deal. Any questions? Okay, cool. Next, watch me do a deal. Where do you want me to do a deal? They'll say, Birmingham, man. Okay, cool. I'll go online, I'll go on the phone, I'll be doing deals. And then it's like, right, guess what's going to happen next? Your turn. And then everybody's going to be on the phone, on the laptop. So it's very much, you know, experience. It's an experience.
You're coaching them.
Exactly. And all the advanced courses, we have mentors going around helping people. You know, it's the same. When something's great, you can't explain it, and I can't really explain it. I just say, get down, pay a pound, come and experience it.
Brilliant. Samuel, if you could just look into this camera and just let us know all of your handles, how all of my audience can follow you.
Check me out on YouTube, Samuel Leeds. Instagram, Samuel Leeds Official, and Google me, Samuel Leeds on Google, website property-investors.co.uk. See you there.
Thank you very much for your time today, Samuel. And guys, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast and it's produced a lot of value for you guys. If you've got any questions, write a comment in the comment section. And yeah, you can follow us on SeanLand_1 on Instagram, our TikTok account, which you show a lot of love on, SeanLand_1 again. One of our reels have just hit 1.6 million, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you for tuning in, and please subscribe. Oh, before I go, here's a little gift for Samuel. Nobody goes empty-handed on this show.
Yes.
Come on.
Appreciate it.
Big energy.
Real pleasure. Love you, bro.
Come on.
Keep up the good work.
Yes.
Sorry, man.
We try.
That's all right.